We will be discussing 5 notes out of the 8 notes in music. The first one is semi-brief, that can also be called whole note. That is the symbol of whole note, oval shape like an egg. Now this is the rest of whole notes. It has 4 beats duration. That is semi-brief has 4 beats like pa, 4 counts for every semi-brief, which you can also call whole note. The next one is meaning. Meaning is having oval head with a stem. The note looks like P or sometimes like D. Oval head with a stem going off. This is the rest of a meaning, also known as half note. So it's having 2 counts, 2 beats. Number 3, crotchet. Crotchet is also called quarter note. Quarter note. Crotchet is just like a meaning, but with shaded head. You must shade the head of a crotchet note. Sometimes like this, like P, sometimes like D. Now this is the rest of a crotchet note, or sometimes like this. It has 1 beat, 1 count. Number 4, quiver is also called 8 notes. Quiver is just like a crotchet, but with a flag or a tail. Sometimes like this, or sometimes like the other one. Now that is the rest for quiver. Is having half beat. Half beat. The next one is semi-quiver. Semi-quiver or 16th note. A semi-quiver is just like a quiver, but with 2 flags. Overhead with the stem, 2 flags. The same thing happens here. Overhead with the stem going up with 2 flags. Sometimes you can have your note like this or like this. Depends on the position on the stave. Now, this semi-quiver rest, 2 tails also. Now it's having 1/4 quarter beats. Now let's see the relationship among the notes. You will discover that there are 2 meanings in a semi-brief. We have 2 of this in this. There are 2 crotchets also in a meaning. There are 2 quavers also in a crotchet. There are 2 semi-quavers in a quiver. In other words, you can say there are 4 crotchets in a semi-brief. We have 4 crotchets in the semi-brief. This is mathematics. They can ask you in exam to tell us the number of quiver that can be gotten from a meaning. Is just mathematics. That will be 2 divided by half. It gives you 2 times 2/1. Gives you 4. Okay, let's apply the knowledge from the topic we did earlier, musical notes and rest. The first exercise in Abrsm workbook. What are these notes called? This one is called semi-brief or whole notes. The second one is called meaning or half note. The next one is called crotchet. or quarter note. The last but not the least is called the quiver. Quiver or the eighth note. Exercise 2 of the first topic of the Abrsm music theory, grade 1. A meaning lasts as long as 2 crotchets. That is, there are 2 crotchets in a minim. A minim is having 2 beats. A crotchet is having 1 beat. That is, 2 divided by 1 gives you 2. The second one, a whole note lasts as long as dash crotchet. Whole note is having 4 counts. A crotchet is having 1 count. That is, 4 divided by 1 gives us 4. So it means there are four crotchets in one semi-brief. That is to say, in other words, a semi-brief lasts as long as 4 crotchets. The next one, a semi-brief lasts as long as dash minim. You ask yourself, what is the value of semi-brief? That is 4. Divided by, what is the value of a minim? 2. That is, 4 divided by 2 gives us 2. It means there are 2 minims in a semi-brief. The next question, a minim lasts as long as dash quiver. A minim lasts as long as dash quiver. Now, we ask ourselves, what is the value of a minim? And that is 2. What is the value of a quiver? That is half. So mathematics set into play now. This is 2, then that will be 2 times these 2 goes up, the 1 comes down. That is 4. It means there are 4 quivers in a minim. The last, but not the least, here. A crotchet lasts as long as dash quiver. A crotchet lasts as long as dash quiver. That is to say, how many quivers can we find in a crotchet? So a crotchet is having 1 beat. A quiver is having half beat. Same thing as 1 times 2 over 1. So this is 2. It means it is 2. There are 2 quivers in 1 crotchet. It's just mathematics. Get the value of this, then divide this one by this. It gives you the answer. In grade 1, the first note we'll be writing on stave is the semi-brief, the whole note. That is the first note we'll be writing on this stave. How do we write notes on the stave? Do not forget, we are dealing with lines and spaces. If you are writing a note on the line must divide the note into 2 equal parts. If the note is to be placed on the line, we try as much as possible to make sure the line is dividing the note into 2 equal parts. But if you are writing in the space, try as much as possible to make it obvious that you're writing in the space, not on the line. If you're having something like this one is a bit confusing. Is it on the line or in the space? This one is wrong. This is good for line. This is also good for space. Now, if you're writing in space and you're having something like this also, this is bad. We were to write to complete from here to there. It's just for you to take your time to spread the notes out. Now we are in the space here. Let's go to the line. The next one is the space. The next one is the line. The next one is the space. The next one is the line. Make sure you write on all the lines and in the spaces too. Do not jump any line or any space. That is why it is good to use pencil all through. You might have a reason to clean. So make sure you spread the notes out until you get to the last note. Line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space, and line. Ledger lines and spaces. These are short, parallel horizontal lines that are written either above or below a stage to show the note that has gone beyond the primary stage. They are short and parallel. They can either be at the top or below. Now, what is ledger space? Ledger space is the space between the last line of the primary stave and the first ledger line, or the space between two ledger lines. You can have more than one ledger line. These are ledger lines, ledger spaces. Ledger space, ledger line. You can have it above too. It can be somewhere here, somewhere here. The ledger line, then ledger space. So the space between two ledger lines is ledger line, or the space between one ledger line and the last line of the primary stave is also ledger line. So this ledger line, another ledger line. Same thing here. This ledger space, second ledger space, ledger line, ledger line.